So you're chasing your dream, you're following your calling, and you want to bring more people into it because doing it by yourself, you can only have so much impact and you can only spread so far. So, how do you increase your impact and quickly bring more people into your calling? Well, that's our question today. Hi everyone and welcome again to another Eternity Changer show. My name is Paul Allen Clifford and I'm your host, and I'd love for you to join the conversation. So head on over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact. There you can leave your questions, comments, etc. You can also hit me up on Twitter, Paul Allen Cliff, and we'll talk more about ways that you can interact later on. So I've been slow coming to this idea, and this is something that, as an artist, because that's my temperament, that's kind of how I view life, it feels like it's exactly the opposite of what I want. So I want to be free-spirited. I want to do things spur of the moment. I don't want to have a plan. I don't want to have a checklist. I don't want to know, okay, this is step one, this is step two, etc. But there's some limitations with that. And part of it is that just doing it based on what's going on in my head, I'm not as efficient as I could be. Now, what I mean by that is that I really am not doing the non-art part of what I do as quickly and easily as I can. So let me show you something. Now you probably won't be able to make much of this out, but this is just something that I've been going through. This is a rough draft of what I do every day. You see, it's 2 columns. These are all just steps. And I've called it the daily procedure. Now this is a rough draft, so it's not necessarily in order, but it is everything that I do in order to make these shows. So what advantage does that have? Well, first off, there are a couple of times where I copy and paste things. And right now, I copy and paste as needed. But I've noticed something. I copy and paste from one place, I copy from one place, I paste to another. Then, if I do it right, I can copy and paste from the second place and go to the third. And if I am doing it really right, I copy and paste from the third and I go to the fourth. But if I'm not doing it right, I copy and paste from the first place. Then I copy from the first place, I go to the second place and I paste. Then I copy something totally different and paste that in the second place. Then I have to go back to the first place and copy that again to move it to the third. So instead of doing it in the most efficient manner possible, I'm redoing steps that I don't need to redo. So I need to find the optimal order of doing things, and if I just did them that way over and over again, I'd find that I actually could do this more efficiently than what I'm doing right now. And that's really something that I should consider as a possibility, is how can I do this more efficiently? So that's one advantage of doing this. Another advantage is, right now, if I had someone else to help me, it would take me a long time to explain what I'm trying to do. And the things that I'm trying to do are not all that difficult. It's like, copy the show notes from the blog post and paste it into YouTube. take it from YouTube into the audio podcast description. Not hard. Almost anyone can do it. I could probably get my almost 13-year-old daughter to do this for me. But here's the problem. It's all in my head. I mean, with the exception of this list, which is not all that clear, it's all in my head, and it's not something that can easily be transferred to another person. And it would take a lot of my time to do that. And if the first person quit doing it, it would take me the exact same large amount of time to transfer it to a different person. Or if that first person did such a good job and I wanted to hire someone on additionally, again, so I think that that's a problem. So I need to develop a procedure, a list of steps that I go through every day on how to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. So this will enable me to expand quickly, to hand off this procedure to someone else, to improve the quality because I won't be wasting time, which also means that I will improve the efficiency. But also by improving quality, what I mean is I'm not going to settle for handing off steps that are kind of close to right. I can do this exactly right. Now, there's a television show that I've been watching. There's a internet television network that plays Doctor Who on Sunday nights, and so as a family, we're big sci-fi buffs, so we all watch that. Well, after that, there's another show that is all about a business expert going to small family companies and helping them grow. And this was this past Sunday night. It was a place that sells fish and chips, kind of like in the States we've got Long John Silver's, kind of like that, only it was just a small family-owned business. But the problem was the owner made them one way. His 20-something daughter made them a second way, and his wife made them a third way. And so, and they didn't necessarily have a fixed schedule because, people don't. So you would never know what kind of fish and chips you were going to get based on walking into the door. This got me thinking, what if I could somehow make it so that I don't have to do all the work, and I could hand it off to someone and no one could tell that I didn't do all the work, but someone else did that. And that freed me up for other things. So that increases the quality. So I really like that idea that I could make a step-by-step manual on how to do what I do, and I could share that with other people that would like to help out, or that I hire to help out, or what have you. And no one would know the difference. That is key in my mind. In fact, if I did this right, I could have people who have better talents dealing with some of the things that I'm so at. So the graphic design stuff, if I had someone that was a little bit better at graphic design, that would actually make it seem better. So I'm thinking that maybe this procedure is something that I need to develop. Also, I can develop this procedure and hand it off to future show hosts, and we could have more shows that are at this same quality as mine. Or, since there are more, we could even get better. So think about that as just transfer it to your own calling. The only thing that could be holding you back could be that you don't have out of your head everything that you do. Now, with this said, there are some gotchas, and as an artist, one of them is it just doesn't feel very fluid and able to be changed, and I get that. But there are also some other things. And these are very real problems. First off, you can be chained to a procedure. So a procedure is for what normally happens. It's not for the exception. And this is something that large corporations don't quite get. They don't quite get that you've got a person that's smart enough to make decisions, and when something doesn't fit the procedure, they can say, well, it didn't fit the procedure, but I've tweaked it ever so slightly for this one and only one situation. That would be worth doing. I think if Google could get this for their live video streaming, they could really, really do something. But they don't have anyone that can tweak the procedure to say, look, I'm dealing with a church, and they have a license to use this music, as opposed to the teenage kid who just picked up a CD or an MP3 in a more modern way of thinking, picked up an MP3 and is using that in their videos. So you see how you can't be chained to a procedure, but it should account for what happens most of the time. Secondly, you can't take it as gospel. Sometimes things about it will need to be changed. It didn't proceed from on high. The Lord God Himself did not give you this procedure. You don't have to treat it as such. It could be that there's a better way to do it, and it should be a breathing document, something that grows over time as you get better and better. Now, on the other end, you can't treat it too loosely. So with my procedure, I have things like copy the show notes from the blog post to YouTube. Well, I can't kind of skip that step altogether and say, yeah, that's not important. No, I want that as part of the procedure. So I've got to make sure that on one hand, we don't treat it too loosely, and on the other hand, we don't treat it as gospel. It has to be something that helps us move forward, not something, and I'm saying us, there is no us just yet, but when there is, something that helps us move forward but doesn't shackle us and prevents us from moving forward as well. Finally, another big gotcha is forgetting to update it. You don't want to get this into the head of whoever you're dealing with, and they make things better than what the procedure was, and it never gets updated, and then they leave, and you don't know how to do it. That's no good either. So this is really something that you do as a balance to make your calling spread more quickly, to help more people, to change more lives and eternities, which is what I want to do. So I want you to take this information and use it as you're going out to change eternity. Now, if you've got questions or comments, or if you want to engage with this material, don't forget to put a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, trinitydigitalmedia.com/subscribe. If you're not on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, there's a convenient button, I believe about here, that will allow you to subscribe. Or at the end of the show, there's a button as well. So I hope that you'll do that. If you've got questions or comments, paul@trinitydigitalmedia.com, or leave me a voicemail, 1-877-763-3246. That's 1-877-POD-ECHO, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford. Oh, what just happened? Oh, I see. Okay, until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.